Hello everyone. So Bhavna this side from JNtech Networks. So in this session we will discuss about what is Python, like into part of Python, like what is Python, history of Python, and where we can use like who can do this course, okay, who can learn Python, etc. So we will start with the Python introduction. Okay, so in this session we will discuss the agenda, that is the Python into part. Okay. And second, the Python installation, or we can say that Python history before that, and then Python installation. How we can install Python in the different operating systems. Okay, so basically, what is Python? So Python is a programming language. So it is a programming language. Now, what is the means of programming here? Like, why we need Python? What is the means of programming? Why we really use the really need the programming? Because like suppose if you want to communicate with your computer, like if you want to give any order, if you want to give any instructions, suppose you want to open the calculator, so you ask to your computer to open a calculator. Okay, so how you can communicate with your computers, how you can communicate with your PCs. Okay, that is why we use the programming to communicate with your computers, because computers only understand, that machine only understand the machine language, that is zeros and ones. Okay, that is zeros and ones. That is also known as binaries. Okay, binaries language. So, and the binaries language are like 0101 like this. Okay, so if you want to communicate with your computer, you have to learn the binary. That is way too complex. So, what we can do now, we can learn the programming language. Programming is there's a kernel inside your computer, that is also known as the heart of your computer. Okay, heart of your machine. So basically, kernel is responsible for converting your language, your programming language, into machine learning, into machine language, that is binaries. Okay, so here we can write kernel is responsible for converting, or we can say that for executing actually the commands provided by users with the help of hardware. Okay, so basically, there's a shell also. Shell is used to convert your commands into zeros and ones, and kernel is responsible for executing your commands into with the help of hardware. Okay, suppose you ask to your computer to open a calculator. So opening a calculator means you have to write it in a form that a shell can understand, and shell only understand programming languages. Then shell will convert your command into zero and ones, and then the kernel will execute it. Okay, so this is the whole process of execution of a particular command. Okay, and why we need programming to communicate with your PCs. Okay, so that we can we can give instructions to the computers so that it can execute a task. Okay, that is the whole purpose of the programming. Okay, because it is not possible to learn the binaries 0 and 1. Okay, suppose if you want to write A, okay, like suppose if you want to write A, so there's a binary of A is like this. Okay, just an example. Okay, so it is not possible to learn like binaries. So that is why we use programming. Okay, and Python is a programming language. Okay, so let's understand the features of Python. Okay, so Python features. So first, Python is a general purpose. Okay, so what is the means of general purpose here? General purpose means we can use Python everywhere. Like we can use Python in every domain. Domain in the sense in the cybersecurity domain, in the networking domain, okay, in the web development, in the application development, etc. So we can use Python everywhere. That is why Python is a general purpose. Okay, like we can use it everywhere. So second, we have Python is dynamic in nature. Okay. So what is the means of dynamic here? So suppose let's take an example of a C code. Okay, C code or C or C++ code. Okay, suppose if you want to create a variable, so variable are just nothing, they are just a container which is used to contain like store your value. Okay, suppose you want to store 11 value to a container, to a variable. So in the C or C++, we have to write suppose A is equal to 11. So A is a variable here, 11 is a number here. Okay, it is a value where like we are storing. So 11 is a type of int value, like integer that we will discuss, like what is integer that we will discuss in later sessions. Okay, for now, just understand the dynamic in nature means. So A is a variable here, 11 is a value here. Okay, so 11 is an integer value. So we have to tell the C or C++ interpreter that what kind of value we are storing. So we have to write int here, A 11. Okay, or suppose we are storing any character. So char means char character, B equal any character, G. Okay, this is a character. Okay, alphabet. So we have to tell the C interpreter that what kind of value we are storing. Okay, but in case of Python, in case of Python, we just write a variable name a and the value. That's it. Okay, the value and the variable name. So in the Python, we don't need to like write here what kind of value we are storing inside a variable. That is a difference in the C or Python code. That is why Python is dynamic in nature. Even Python is flexible in nature. Okay. So third, it is a high level language. So what is the means of high level? So basically we have three types of levels, like we have low level, mid level, and high level. So we have high level, we have mid level, and then we have low level. So basically, high level means close to human language. Okay. Mid level means close, like medium. Okay. Low level means close to machine language. Okay. For example, assembly language. And in the high level, for example, Python. And in the mid level, we can say that C or C++. Okay. So high level means the languages. Suppose there's a line in Python, there's a code in Python, or we can say that a function. For example, print hello world. Okay. Suppose you are a beginner in the Python language. You don't like you could you just don't understand this line. Okay, you just don't know anything about Python. So print is a function. So even if you are beginner, anyone can understand print is a function which is used to print something. Okay, and what it is used to print something, that is this one, hello world. Okay, whatever you write inside parentheses. So basically, print is a function which is used to display or print something. Okay, it is like easy to understand. It is written in English. So that is why Python is a high level, because it is close to human language, that is English. Okay. Same as if we talk about assembly means like we like suppose there's an assembly code which is made up of signs and symbols. Okay, like signs, symbols, even some binaries also. Okay, binaries, etc., etc. Okay, so that is the assembly. Okay, so there's a that is why the assembly language, it is close to machine language, that is 0 and 1, and high level language, that is close to like human language, that is English. Okay, so this is a difference, and that is why Python is a high level language, which is that is why which is easy to understand and easy to use. Okay, so it is easy to understand and easy to use. Okay, now Python is also a object oriented programming language. So what is the means of object oriented? Means oops. Okay, this is a like oops concept. So what is the means of object oriented? It is like the combination of like classes objects. Okay, so classes are like blueprints and objects are like the filling inside a blueprint. Okay, like that we will discuss later. Okay, object oriented means the whole purpose of this oops means this will make your code clean. Okay, so this will make your code clean. Okay, short, and you can reuse it. Okay, you can reuse it. Okay, that is the whole purpose of the oops. Okay, this will made your code clean. Okay, short. Why we want a short code? Because the shorter the code, so like it will execute fast. Okay, so the and then it is easy to use. Okay, sorry, like you can reuse it. Okay, that is like the whole purpose of the oops. Okay, now Python is also a interpreted programming language. So what is the meaning of interpreted here? Means interpreted is like suppose let's take an example of C or C++ again. Okay, suppose there's a C or C++ code. So how you code inside a C or C++ language? Suppose you write a code. Okay, code, or we can write here, right? Code, compile it, and then run it. Okay, but in Python, just write code and then run it. Okay, so there's no compilation process in Python. So what is the difference here is in the C or C++, you have to write code first. Okay, like you write code, then you have to compile it. Compile means, let's say the extension of C or C++ code is .c. Okay, then you compile. Compilation means you're converting .c into .exe. So .exe, and then you are running it. But in Python, the extension is .py. Okay, and then you can directly run it. So that is our difference in the C or C++ and Python code. Okay, so there's no compilation process in Python. So in the C or C++, you have to write code, you have to compile, and then you have to run it. Okay, and if there's any error, if there's any bug, so first you have to make changes in the code. You have to compile it again, and then you have to run it. Okay, so there's a difference. Okay, so you have to write code again, you have to compile it, and you have to run it. So there's a three-way process. But in Python, you have to just write and run it. There's no compilation process. Okay, if there's any error, if there's any bug inside your code, you have to fix it. Okay, fix it Python and then run it. Okay, like to check. So that is the that is why it is also dynamic and flexible in nature. Okay, so these are the important features of Python. Okay, now where we can use Python. So where we can use Python. As I said, Python can be used everywhere. Okay, like you can use Python everywhere, like anywhere as well. So like you can use Python in first web development. You can use Python in application development. You can use Python in data science. Okay. You can use Python in cybersecurity, in networking, in automation. Okay. As well as in game development, etc. Like there are many uses. Okay, even in artificial intelligence, in machine learning, okay, in deep learning as well, and in neural networks, etc. Like there are many uses. Okay, so the important ones are in IoT also. Just last. Okay, so where we can use Python, we can use in like in-depth development. Now, why we can use Python everywhere? Why it is so flexible in nature? So because Python is a open source language. Okay, most important, it is a open source. Now, what is the means of open source here is? So we have basically three types of softwares. Okay, we have open source, Okay. We have freeware and then we have paid. So open source means it is first free to use. We can use it for free. Secondly, we can modify and we can read the source code of that particular software. For example, Python. Okay. Or Wireshark. Okay. So open source means like uh, we can use it for free. So we can use it for free and we can modify or we can say that contribute and the source code of that software or program. Okay, we can read. So this is the whole meaning of open source. Means we can use it for free, we can read, we can modify, we can contribute to the main source code of a particular application. Then we have freeware. Freeware is like, for example, Windows Home. Okay, like okay, Windows Home. Then we can use it for free. Okay, but we cannot modify or read the source code of the program. Okay, so freeware is like we can use it for free, but we cannot modify or read the source code of that program or software. Then we have paid. Paid is like you have to pay for it. Okay, like if you want to use it, you have to pay for it. That is like we have many Canva and we have like Microsoft products, Adobe, etc. Okay, so Python is one of the open source softwares. Okay, so we can modify it, we can contribute, and as well as we can read the source code of Python. Okay, now what is the benefit of open source? Like open source means we can modify it. Okay, so we can like develop applications, we can develop like libraries, modules. Okay, we can develop libraries, modules, and packages inside Python. Okay, so that is why we have we can use Python everywhere because Python has vast amount of libraries, packages, and modules. That is why we can use Python everywhere. For example, if you want to use web, like if you want to use Python with web development, so you can use Django for that. Okay, Django with Python. Then in the application, you can use Flex. Okay, for the data science, you can use NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Okay, so you can use NumPy for that. You can use Pandas. Okay, as well as you can use Matplotlib, Seaborn. Okay, and Plotty, Cufflinks, etc. Okay, for the cybersecurity, we can use like multiple libraries for that. Okay, for networking, we can use request module, socket module, etc. For the automation, we can use Selenium. Okay, PyAuto GUI. Okay, for the game development, you can use Turtle. Okay, Pygame. For the artificial intelligence, machine learning, like there are numerous libraries. Okay, for the if you want to create GUI application with the help of Python, you can use Kinter for that and Turtle for the animations. Okay, for any animations. So Python, like Django is a framework here. Okay, NumPy, Pandas, these are libraries. So basically, Python have like vast amount of libraries, packages, and modules. That is why we can use Python everywhere. Okay. So if you want to, like, if your career path is like web, so just learn the basics and advanced part of Python, and then you can go for Django. Okay. So because like it is not possible to learn like every modules, every packages, every libraries of Python. That is like of no use. Okay. So it depends on your path, what path you are choosing. Suppose you want to go for like automation. Okay, Python with automation. So clear your basics, clear your advanced part, Then go for Selenium. Okay, Selenium or Beautiful Soup. Okay, for web scraping, etc. So choose your library according to your career path. Okay, that is why Python is in like demand because Python can be used everywhere. Okay, so now next we have history of Python. So who is the inventor of Python? So Python is was invented by Guido van Rossum. Okay, okay. So Python is developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991 at CWI Netherlands. Okay, so in 1991 at CWI in Netherlands. Okay, so that is the inventor of Python. So Python, like Python is invented from another language that is ABC. Okay, ABC programming language. So we can say that ABC is the base of Python. Okay, then we have two types of Python. Like we can say that version types. Okay, so we have Python 2 that is popular and Python 3. Okay, so we will go for the latest Python that is Python 3.10. Now 1111. Okay, so Python, like what is the difference in the Python 2 and Python 3? As Python 2 is the old version of Python. Okay, now the latest is Python 3. So what is the difference in Python 2 and Python 3? So basically there's a like a syntax differences. Okay, so there's a syntax differences between Python 2 as well as and 3. Okay, for example, suppose in Python 3, you write print parenthesis, matlab means square like round brackets, and then hello world. Okay, but in Python 2, you write print space quotations hello world. Okay, there's like many differences in Python 2. You write like we write input. Okay, for taking input from the user. In Python 2, we write raw input. Okay, that is this one. Okay. Okay, in Python 3, we write range. In Python 2, we write X range. Okay, like there's a like and even like there are many libraries which you can use in Python 3, but you cannot use with Python 2. Okay, so there's a difference. Okay, so these are the differences in Python 3 and 2, and there are a lot more. Okay, so we will go with Python 3. Okay, now most popular libraries and frameworks. So we have Kinter. Okay, we have Turtle. We have Request, Socket, CGI. Okay, and we have threads. We can write here libraries, frameworks, and modules. Okay, and then we have okay, and we have like a lot more. So in this session, so in the whole Python course, we will cover these types of libraries and modules. Okay, like Kinder, Turtle, Request, Socket are of networking. CGI is of CGI. Okay, like of websites. Threads are for the multi-threading. Okay, and many more. Okay, so let me show you the course content of Python. Okay, so search for the website name JNtechNetworks.com. Okay, so in here, click on Python, scroll down. Okay, if you want to check out the course content which we are going to cover in the Python series, then you can check out from here. Okay, like we will cover the Python basics. In the basics, we will cover the fundamentals, operators, variables, data types, loops. Okay, and like string manipulations, like data types manipulations, functions, and methods. Okay, as well as libraries like modules like datetime, calendar, and many more. Okay, then we will cover the file handling, exception handling. Okay, OOPS concept. In the OOPS, we will cover the classes, objects, abstraction, data hiding, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay, then we will cover the regex. Okay, regex and multi-threading. Okay, that is the part of advanced. Okay, then we will cover the GUI part, that is printer, etc. Okay, so if you want to check out the course content of Python, you can check out from here. Okay, if you want in PDF, then you can you can WhatsApp. Okay, if you have any inquiry, you can WhatsApp or you can call on these numbers. Okay, or you can mail or you can fill this form for the course content for the PDF. Okay, if you want to see the course content. Okay, so we are talking about most popular popular libraries and frameworks that are Django. Okay, Kinter, Turtle, Django, and okay. Then we have NumPy for the mathematics. Okay, Pandas for the data cleaning, Matplotlib, and Seaborn for the data visualization. Okay, Selenium for the automation. We have PyAuto GUI if you want to automate your GUI interface using Python. Okay, then we have Plotty. We have Flink. Okay, we have MySQL connector. Okay, like we have many libraries. We have database libraries as well. Okay, we have Flex. Okay, etc. So there are like many libraries. Okay, so if you want to if you want to study about libraries first, clear your basics, your advanced, then you can go for your career path. Okay, choose the library according to your career path. Suppose if you want to go for websites like for web development, then you can choose Django with Python, of course. Okay, if you want to go for data science ML for AI, then you can choose for NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, like Seaborn, etc. Okay, so it depends on your career path. Okay, now the installation process. So basically, how to install Python? So Python is a cross-platform. One more feature. Okay, where is it? Yeah. So Python is a cross-platform, which means we can use Python anywhere in like any OS, like in Windows, in Mac, and in Linux. Okay, so Windows. So we will so installation process is same for all the operating system. So visit the website, Python, search for Python, download. Okay, now click here python.org. Okay, in the downloads, you have to download Python 3.11.1. Okay, then after downloading, installing. So the installation process is also straightforward. Okay, for the installation process, just when you are installing, click on next. Okay, like this. Okay, accept all the terms and conditions. And one more thing, one important, that is you have to tick the box. In which box? When there's an option of add to path. Okay, just tick this box and then click on next install. Okay, so Python will be installed inside your system. If you want to check if Python is successfully installed or not, so open your CMD. Okay, now from here, type Python. Okay, so here you can see the Python version. Okay, this one. Okay, now if you want to check the Python IDE, Okay, IDE means integrated development environment. Means where you write your code. Okay, where you write your code. That is known as IDE. Okay, so you can search for Python IDE. Okay, open. Okay, so here you can write your code here, print hello world, like this, enter. Okay, so hello world will be printed. So this print is a function which is used to print something or display whatever you write inside this round brackets. That is known as parenthesis. Okay, so this is a Python ideal. Okay, ideal means Python, sorry, integrated development learning environment. Okay, so Python ideal, that is okay. So, but we will not use ideal for like Python IDE because it is not flexible. What we will use another IDEs. So we will use IDEs like we have like many IDEs. We have Visual Studio Code, okay, which is also known as VS Code. Okay, we will use PyCharm. We can use we can use Atom, which is also we can use Jupyter Notebook for for data science, especially. Okay, we can use Spider. We can use Sublime, which is like average test editor. Okay, like we have many IDEs, but for the sessions we will use VS Code, which is like perfect for beginners. Okay, now so for installing VS Code, you have to search for VS Code download. Okay, like this. Click on this website. Now from here, VS Code is also cross-platform. You can install it on any. Okay, so we will install for Windows. Click on here. Okay, this one. So after installing, installation process is also straightforward. Now, for using the VS Code, we have to install some more extensions, like extensions for VS Code. Okay, so open your VS Code. Okay, so this is the logo of your VS Code. Open this. Now from here, click on this extensions. Okay, now here search for Python first. Okay, Python. Click on here by Microsoft. Click on install. Click on install. After that, search for icons. Okay, so click on VS Code icons. Click on install. Okay, then search for prettier. Okay, this one, prettier code formatter. Click on install. Okay, then after that, click on like search for run. Okay, and click on install code runner. Okay, click on install. So these are the like important 4 extensions for Python. Okay, so let me write here. That is first Python code runner. Okay, then we have VS Code icons. Okay, so these are the extensions for VS Code. You can install it. Okay, that are like important and necessary. Okay, so this is the interface of the VS Code. Okay, here you can create a file. You can open your file. Okay, for example, suppose let's create a folder on desktop. Here, new folder. Name it anything test. Okay, so open your folder inside VS Code. Now from here, you can create new file, you can create folder. Okay, like this option for new file. Okay, click on this, name your file, say hello.py. So the extension of Python is .py. Okay, so here see this is the benefit of installing VS Code icons. You can see the Python symbol here, like Python logo on file. Suppose if you want to create any file, any other file, let's say test.html. Okay, here you can see the HTML logo. Okay, like then if you want to create CSS file, so test.css. So here you can see the CSS logo. Okay, so that is the benefit of using like installing VS Code icons. Okay, so remove this file. I'm just removing it. Okay, let go. Now here, click on hello file. Okay, hello.py. Okay, print hello world. Okay, so this click this play button. Okay, run. Here you can see the hello world on your output screen. Okay, hello world. You can see it here. Okay, so if you want to write any other thing like print my first program. Okay, now here click on run. Hello world and my first program. So print function is used for printing or display something. Okay, like whatever you write inside parentheses. Okay, so this is the whole like installation process. Okay, first install Python, then go for Visual Studio Code. Okay, you can also use PyCharm or Atom. It's your choice. If you like, if you know how to use it, you can go for it as okay. But we will use VS Code for our sessions. Okay, and the extensions. Okay, I hope this much is clear. Now, if you want to check out the course content of Python, then you can visit the website. Okay, let me show you again. So search for JNtech Networks. Okay, so click on here. Now here, click on Python. Okay, if you want to see any course content of any course, you can check out from here. Okay, so here are modules. You can check it out. Okay, and there's a lot more details like the fee structure, the course duration. Okay, and as well as the upcoming batches. Okay, for the weekends and for the weekdays. As well as if you have any inquiry, you can call on this number. Okay, as well as you can like WhatsApp or mail, or you can fill up the inquiry form. Okay, with your proper details and click on submit. Okay, and if you want to see like course content of other courses, you can check it out from here. Okay, so okay, so that's it for today. Now next we will continue tomorrow. Okay, so in the next session we will see the variables and data types. Okay, the rules and naming convention